A Sexual Harassment Guide. Chapter 1. Harassment and Discrimination. Job harassment info. In general terms, harassment in the workplace is any action, object or comment that at least one person finds offensive or harmful, or that a group of people in the community would view as in bad taste, unwelcome or offensive. Harassment causes the victim, harassed person, to feel bullied, humiliated, embarrassed, discriminated against, intimidated or threatened. There are civil liberties laws in place to protect individuals from harassment on the grounds of race, nationality, ethnic origin, color, religion, age, sex, sexual orientation, marital status, family status, disability, and former criminal convictions. Depending on the specifics of the situation, harassment could be a criminal offense, civil offense, or both. In the workplace, it's mostly a civil offense, punishable with fines and punitive damages in a civil lawsuit. To me, harassment is not the gray area pundits purport it to be. In any situation, people are either positive, negative, or neutral, and there is no great chasm of ambiguity between these actions or vibes, if you will. We have all spent all our lives judging people's attitudes to us. It's always an inner dialogue of, is this person a friend or foe? So we're all experts at judging people's motives towards us whether we realize it or not, and in my opinion, our intuitive faculties are rarely wrong. We simply know when someone is trying to embarrass or belittle us for some ego problem they have. It's black and white, crystal clear. You can sense a true friend, a disinterested workmate who doesn't care about you much either way, and someone who is going out of their way to do rude things to you. Anything negative that takes on a personal tone geared to make you feel bad is harassment, such as rude behavior, degrading or offensive comments, threats, intimidation, talk of revenge, criticism of the person not the work, teasing about inappropriate things such as a disability, put-downs and insults, displaying sexist, racist or other offensive pictures, cartoons, or slogans both physically and electronically. Repeatedly singling out one person to do the dirty work that is not normally part of his job description. Purposely excluding an employee from the group dynamic. Libel/slander, telling damaging lies about someone. Unwanted flirting, sexual suggestions. Unwanted sexual advances or even light touching such as pinching, a slap on the butt, etc. The way to deal with harassment is the same as the proper, official way to deal with conflicts. Don't take sides. Try to be objective. Separate the two. Act sympathetic towards each so they will each spill their guts out to you, and from that, make your decision as to what is the objective truth of the matter. If you determine one guy is the instigator, as I say in my article on conflict resolution, why bother with people like this? They have negative personalities. Get rid of them. Have a zero-tolerance policy. Just like they encourage people to report bullying behavior at grade school, so too, do it here. Tell them it's not squealing, it's doing the right thing. Read the next few paragraphs from my bullying article. Bullying is often done by people who feel less than good and whole about themselves, therefore they're frustrated about their lives, so in order to bring themselves up a notch, they'll often pick on weaker people, and this makes them feel better in the moment while making someone else feel bad, which they're either insensitive to or relish in, to see others suffer. Bullies are not like passive-aggressive people who disguise their anger. Bullies are out in the open, in your face with pushy, demeaning and abrasive behavior. Bullies take a toll on everybody around them. Bullying/violence is often done as an unconscious process, they don't exactly know why they're doing it. Many bullies don't think, on the surface, that they're insecure people with inferiority complexes. They've displaced who they are objectively with a new persona, kind of like a weak kid who takes on a superhero persona. It's a coping mechanism, only in this case, they take on the role of the big, bad bully. It gives them some control in their lives. For some, the reasons may not be this profound. There are a lot of miserable, angry, evil people out there who enjoy seeing others suffer and enjoy inflicting the pain to make them suffer. It makes them feel powerful and good. Some bullies are hopelessly incorrigible people who will never be cured. It could have its roots in reactive attachment disorder, that between just after they were born to about the age of 2 years old, they didn't get the normal love a baby should get, so they were irreparably damaged to not feel for other people and even get pleasure out of hurting others, especially if they were abused as kids. When dealing with harassment situations in the workplace, try to be clear, talk to the players and listen to them in an attempt to get to the bottom of the situation. Encourage tolerance, in the workplace, that people act towards others in a respectful and professional manner. Have a workplace policy in place that orders people to report harassment/bullying. Educate everyone about harassment as a serious offense. Define harassment for them. Try to identify negative people and stop them before they escalate their negativity. When someone complains about harassment, deal with it immediately. If you feel you are being harassed, say in a formal, business-like way, "Your behavior is not acceptable, stop immediately or bear the consequences of a harassment charge." If he says nothing but gives you a sarcastic look, walk away. This may be enough for him to know that you're no pushover. If he does it again, report him immediately. In any event, from then on, ignore him. If you must deal with him, make it prompt, terse, businesslike with very short 2-word answers. Keep a journal of all harassment incidents. Document the place, time, and who else was present. In proving harassment in a court of law, it's not just about the negative character of the incidents, it's about the frequency and establishing a pattern of harassment over time. If the harassment is very blatant and often, don't be above installing a hidden camera. It's not that hard as long as you hide the red flickering light on your camcorder with a piece of tape. Simply let the camcorder run all day in its secret location plugged in as opposed to battery power, which will run out. 6-hour tapes are common. Sex discrimination info. Sex discrimination used to be something like the old boys club not giving high-level jobs to women or the local fire department not hiring women. Nowadays you got some men against affirmative action saying they're more qualified but a woman gets the job. Gay people are crying sex discrimination too. Books about sex discrimination are at #342.7108 or K4399 and KF4488 to KF4758 at the library. equalrights.org/publication/kyr/sexdiscrim.asp. hrlawindex.com. theglassceiling.com. iwpr.org, Women's Policy Research. Chapter 2. A legal definition of sexual harassment. Sexual harassment in general. The atmosphere around the world and in the Western nations until recently has been, if you walk the streets dressed provocatively, expect groups of men to whistle and say you're hot. This is still common in some countries but considered politically incorrect in Canada, the US, and Britain. Sexual harassment is inappropriate sexual behavior when interacting with anyone. Socially acceptable behavior is to treat everyone as asexual. Don't even flirt because it might be interpreted as aggressive behavior or stalking. Don't talk about coworkers in a sexual way anywhere where others can hear it. Excessively polite behavior like kissing hands and complimenting personal appearance may be annoying and inappropriate. Sexual harassment law has its roots in the U.S. Civil Rights Act of 1964. In the 1970s, some women started complaining that harassment in the workplace against them was discriminatory. In 1980, the EEOC, Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, issued guidelines about sexual harassment saying that conduct of a sexual nature, be it verbal or physical, is a violation of Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 when it interferes with a woman's ability to do her job in a safe, comfortable environment. Conduct of a sexual nature is offensive when it affects employment decisions, hiring, raises, firing, interferes with the ability of a woman to do her work, or creates a hostile, intimidating work environment. Try to like your boss or get along with him, but if he crosses that invisible line of disrespect because you're a woman or because he doesn't like you, you have a right to air your grievances to his superiors, your union support agencies, the EEOC, or an employment lawyer. If your boss doesn't treat you with proper respect with the same opportunity for upward mobility as everybody else, he's not playing fair. Get help to remedy the situation. By the same token, if he's too friendly, try to keep a professional distance because he may be in violation of company policy and you don't want to be dragged down with his improprieties. If you play his game, flirt with him and fall for his charms, you're asking for it. Sexual harassment is a one-way street, unwanted sexual attention directed at you with no prodding on your part. If you play along, it's not sexual harassment anymore, it's having fun, and if you enjoy the attention, a few witnesses in court will destroy your case should you ever file suit. The EEOC definition is that sexual harassment is any unwelcome sexual conduct that occurs in the workplace or school. There are two types. Harassment that creates an unpleasant environment such as sexist jokes, talk about sex, inappropriate touching, leering, pornographic materials in public view, or anything else that can be proved to create a hostile work environment. Quid pro quo harassment, which is the practice of offering employment or advancement in exchange for sex or sexual favors. Some psychobablist says that the reason there's sexual harassment in the workplace is that men misinterpret a woman's friendliness for sexual interest, think they can score some sex with her, even if she's married, so they set about acting seductive all the while the girl is not thinking sex at all. She just thought she was being friendly while the guy thought she was coming onto him. Beware of these different ways men and women perceive the same event. Women think they're just being friendly, men think they're coming onto them. Even if the woman is possibly interested in the guy, she's checking him out as an emotional partner, not for a quick roll in the photocopy room, so the best bet for men is to back off. Don't read things into your coworker's behavior. Play it straight with them. Wait until she makes a move that leaves no doubt in your mind. Ask a coworker out once. If she says no, don't ever ask her again. One time is fine, but any more is considered sexual harassment. Studies have shown that women are hypocrites when it comes to sexual harassment. When attractive, high-status guys come onto them repeatedly at work, they like it, but if the low-status, fat, chubby guy asks her out a few times and tells her how beautiful she is, that's harassment in her eyes. Sexual harassment refers to everyone's right to work in an atmosphere that's not hostile to them based on gender. Sexual harassment, legally defined, breaks down into two categories. Quid pro quo, literary translated from Latin, means something given or received for something else. This is basically when the boss wants sexual favors for either giving you the job, promotion, etc., or for not firing or demoting you. Hostile environment is when the guys talk dirty to you, hang sexual pictures up on the bulletin board, talk sex talk amongst each other in your presence, etc. In 1980, the EEOC, Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, issued guidelines about sexual harassment, saying that conduct of a sexual nature, be it verbal or physical, is a violation of Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 when it interferes with a woman's ability to do her job in a safe, comfortable environment. Conduct of a sexual nature is offensive when it affects employment decisions, hiring, raises, firing, interferes with the ability of a woman to do her work, or creates a hostile, intimidating work environment. Supervisors can help prevent sexual harassment by setting a good example and keeping a productive work area. If a report of harassment occurs in your work area, assist in the investigation and resolution of complaint. If you're a victim of SH, report the incident to your immediate supervisor. If your immediate supervisor is the perpetrator, discuss the incident with his boss or with someone in the Human Resources Department. Try to like your boss or get along with him, but if he crosses that invisible line of disrespect because you're a woman or because he doesn't like you, you have a right to air your grievances to his superiors, your union support agencies, the EEOC, or an employment lawyer. If your boss doesn't treat you with proper respect with the same opportunity for upward mobility as everybody else, he's not playing fair. Get help to remedy the situation. By the same token, if he's too friendly, try to keep a professional distance because he may be in violation of company policy and you don't want to be dragged down with his improprieties. If you play his game, flirt with him and fall for his charms, you're asking for it. Sexual harassment is a one-way street. If you play along, it's not sexual harassment anymore, it's having fun, and if you enjoy the attention, a few witnesses in court will destroy your case should you ever file suit. Sexual harassment can be a tough, subjective call because one person may just be politely flirting while another sees it as intimidation, especially if comes from the boss. Men and women both can be victims of sexual harassment, and it can occur from a same-sex person. If you feel that you have been the victim of sexual harassment, you could call the EEOC for an evaluation. The basic standard is to be civil to coworkers in a polite, non-sexist, professional manner. Never touch anyone except for a professional handshake. Don't pat anybody on the butt even if playfully. Don't look or leer at body parts. Look people straight in the eye, nowhere else. Don't ever say anything sexual, even a sexual joke. Better to keep your mouth shut than bother with it. Keep conversation to business, the weather, and their small talk, what they want to talk about. Never initiate personal discussions. Sexual harassment comes down to comfort level, which means it's subjective, which means almost anything can be sexual harassment, so don't encourage anything sexual or sexist. Don't ask anybody out unless you can live with the rejection and handle it in a business kind of way without retaliating by being a sexist jerk. Never compliment a female for anything about her appearance. If a female looks uncomfortable, ask her if you're stepping over the line. In the end, take sexual harassment very seriously because there are too many lawyers out there ready to sue for the flimsiest reason. Their standards are that if an incident is particularly serious and traumatic, such as an outright proposal or physical touching, it could be enough for a lawsuit. However, beyond that, they must assess the general atmosphere of the workplace and determine whether you, the alleged victim, are a sometime contributor to a freewheeling, casual atmosphere in the office. Since sexual harassment is hard to prove, you should tread lightly until you get witnesses and or hidden audio and video evidence. Just like there's sexual harassment by men on women, so too is there sexual harassment by women on men. Don't use your position to try to get younger males to go out with you or sleep with you. Cases like this have been prosecuted. It works both ways. Keep business and personal life separate, especially now that you're in a position of authority, unless you're absolutely sure it's true unconditional love. Sexual harassment is generally a civil matter. The way it becomes criminal is through the general criminal charge of harassment. Some places have passed anti-stalking legislation which constitutes harassment. Harassment is generally defined as fear. If you bother somebody more than twice asking them out on a date or something like that and they say no, the third time is generally grounds for arrest because the girl can say she's afraid of you. Sexual harassment at diversity.social/sexual harassment. When sexual harassment happens, report the conduct to your supervisor or human resources. Call a sexual harassment lawyer. Ask boss to have sexual harassment or unconscious bias training. Enlist other employees to talk to management about training. Look for a new job. In the United States, sexual harassment is defined as discrimination based on sex/gender, including pregnancy, childbirth, or related medical conditions, gender identity, gender expression, or sexual orientation. It falls into two categories. Quid pro quo: someone makes you a job or promotion offer contingent upon the casting couch. Hostile work environment: general offensive work environment. Good and/or big companies have a clear complaint process that bypasses the worker's boss. There is no whistleblower reprisal against the complainant. Report the conduct to your supervisor or human resources. Put your complaint in writing. Keep a copy. Write down every improper conduct event. Get witnesses. There should be an investigation with conclusions. For employers, Mandate that harassment is unacceptable. Punish the perpetrators. Address cases without retaliation. Flirting and sexual harassment. Flirting is fine if you find someone who likes to play along, but it may be just for the sake of socializing, as some people like to talk to other people even if they don't know them much, just for the sake of talking, and it also could be an ego thing. If somebody gives you or anybody else an ego stroke, it's amazing how many people are suckers for a compliment. Give the right person a few compliments and they will immediately like you and want to talk in order to get more compliments to boost them up a bit. Flirting could be nothing. Some people do it by nature to keep them from getting nervous or taking control of a situation. Good salespeople and real estate agents are natural flirts. It's part of the business to butter a client up. The golden rule is don't read anything into flirting unless you're really sure they like you and it's not just a part of their job. Every waiter/waitress and every stripper who work at a place where lots of tips are given are master flirters. They flirt with everyone because they want big tips, not necessarily because they think you're special, although if they're good, they can make you think that they think you're special. Watch any good stripper. She's befriending 10 guys a night, trying to make them all think that she has a special relationship with them. If taken too far, flirting can get you in trouble. At work, you can be charged with a sexual harassment complaint. On the street, you could be charged with lewd and lascivious behavior or even sexual assault. Everybody intuitively knows the basic ground rules of polite society. Follow them. You can talk to anyone you want about anything. Just don't talk about sex or crude things. Keep it nice and G-rated. If the person likes you, they will let you know simply by continuing to talk to you. If they respond to every statement you make, that's conversation. They probably want to talk to you. If you can keep a conversation going with a total stranger for 2 to 3 minutes for no reason other than to socialize, that should be enough rapport to ask for a date without getting hit over the head. After all, they are complicit in the act by choosing to talk to you, but remember that some people just talk for the sake of talking. I'm like this sometimes. I talk to total strangers sometimes who want to talk. It fulfills some need we have to connect to others here and there just for the simple reason of sharing our loner realities in our heads for a while. If in doubt, don't flirt. The better looking you are, the more likely that people will like to flirt with you. There was the case of one woman who filed a sexual harassment suit against a guy. During the trial, it came out that she routinely flirted with the good-looking guys on staff and made sexually explicit comments on PAR with them. The guy she filed the suit on was a middle-aged, chubby, ugly guy. She lost the case because her sexual harassment charge was selective. She picked one guy that she targeted when the truth was that she engaged in the same conduct with several other guys. Forbes.com/careers/2006/02/08/flirting-careers-crs_0209bizbasics.html. msnbc.ms.com/id/11258390, not crossing the harassment line. Overlawyer.com/topics/harris.html. Overlawyer.com/fear_of_flirting. wg.org/edu/flirt/fhmain.html, Sexual Harassment in Schools. Chapter 3. Sexual Harassment Websites. Sexual Harassment Websites. Books about sexual harassment are at #305.42, #331.409 or HD 6099 and HQ 1237.5 at the library. AAUW.org, 800-326 American Association of University Women Educational Foundation, info about sexual harassment, etc. ACLU.org, American Civil Liberties Union. Bullying.org. Feminist.org/911/Harris. CitizenActiony.org, Women's Rights at Work, serves women who have experienced sexual harassment at work in the New York area. eeoc.gov/facts/fs-sex.html, facts about sexual harassment. Learn more about the form of sex discrimination that violates Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. janedoe.org, Jane Doe Inc. Sexual harassment training.biz, online sexual harassment classes. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/sexual_harassment. adr.org/rules/employment/sexual_harassment_claim_resolution. sexualharassmentclass.com. employmentlawfreeadvice.com/sexual_harassment. now.org. sexualharass.com. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. 800-669-4000. 800-800-3302 TTY. eeoc.gov. National Association of Working Women. 1430 West Peachtree Street. Number 610. Atlanta, Georgia, 30309. 404-876-1604. Fax, 404-876-1649. 800-522-0925. Hotline 925@igc.org. 925.org. Generally an advocacy group for women but helps men too in such work areas as sexual harassment, maternity leave or any job problems in general. Annual membership fee entitles you to their database of information. Canadian sexual harassment websites. Books about sexual harassment are at #305.42, #331.409 or HD 6099 and HQ 1237.5 at the library. In Canada, refer to the Provincial or Federal Human Rights Commission. chrf.ca, Human Rights. chrc-ccdp.gc.ca, Human Rights. chrc.ca, Human Rights. chrc-tcdp.gc.ca, Human Rights Tribunal. hri.ca. Sexual harassment in schools. ed.gov/offices/ocr/archive/harassment/index.html. ed.gov, U.S. Department of Education, Office of Civil Rights, OCR, How to file a discrimination or harassment complaint. ed.gov/about/offices/list/ocr/docs/sexhar01.html, Sexual Harassment Guidance, Harassment of students by school employees, other students, or third parties. ed.gov, Report on sexual harassment/abuse of students by educators. operd.org, National Association for Sport and Physical Education, Sexual Harassment in Athletic Settings. Sexual harassment websites at blog.feedspot.com/sexual_harassment_blogs. BostonInjuryLawyer.blog.com/category/sexual-assault. calcasa.org/blog. gypscasa.blog. New York Employment Attorney-blog.com/category/sexual-harassment. StopStreetHarassment.org/blog. vsac.ca/blog. WorkplacesXUALHarassmentLaw.com/category/sexual-harassment. DelawareEmploymentLaw.blog.com/category/harassment/harassment-sexual. Sexual harassment news feeds at blog.feedspot.com/sexual_harassment_RSS_feeds. Boston Injury Lawyer blog.com/category/sexual-assault/feed. calcasa.org/blog/feed. Delaware Employment Law blog.com/category/harassment/harassment-sexual/feed. gypscasa.blog/feed. New York Employment Attorney-blog.com/category/sexual-harassment/feed. StopStreetHarassment.org/blog/feed. vsac.ca/blog/feed. Workplacesxualharassmentlaw.com/category/sexual-harassment/feed